So here's some information that I think will be useful to know before you go and see the Odyssey, especially if you haven't read the original 12,000 lines of verse or whatever it is. And if you haven't, that's fine. It's not for me to tell you what to do. But if this film makes you curious about reading the original, then I think you might like that too. But anyway, regardless of that, here's a little bit about the Odyssey. It was written about 3,000 years ago by Homer. Not that Homer. And when I say written, it actually wasn't written down at all, because it was part of an oral tradition where poems were recited to audiences long before anybody ever thought of writing them down. It's generally agreed to date back to the 8th century BCE. And when I say it was written by Homer, well, he might not exist. He probably did, but we don't know for sure. So we have this 3,000-year-old story that was never written by somebody who might not exist. So that's a good start. Now, you might just think I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be. I promise you I'm not. We're getting to the good stuff. Because what I'm about to say, I think, will improve your experience of the film, and there aren't any spoilers. I don't think there are. No, there are no spoilers. This is such an epic and complex story that knowing a little bit about the background and characters will make a big difference. I mean, imagine if you'd never seen The Terminator and you went straight to Terminator 2. There'd be no excitement about discovering that Arnie is the good guy this time. And sorry to anyone who hasn't seen those films. Right, so the main character in the Odyssey is Odysseus. And in the original poem, which is split into 24 books, we don't see Odysseus until, I think it's book 5. And that is because of the backstory. So the start of the story is all about Penelope, Odysseus' wife, and Telemachus, his son, who haven't seen Odysseus for 20 years. He's been away, 10 years fighting in a war in Troy that he didn't really want to fight in, although he was the one that came up with the idea of the Trojan horse, and 10 years trying to get home.
Where the hell am I?
And it turns out he's really bad at getting home.
How dare you?
Partly because a lot of things go wrong on the journey back, and partly because he spends 8 of those 10 years living and sleeping with 2 other women.
Look, I've told you before, we don't talk about that.
You know, so it wasn't just bad luck that kept him away for so long. It's true that pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong, but that still only took up 2 of the 10 years. So don't feel too sorry for him. And that's the story, and that's what the whole thing's about, him trying to get home. The whole theme of the story is homecoming, and the word for that in Greek is nostos. Odysseus is also a king. He is the king of Ithaca, and while he's away, his palace becomes overrun with, well, in the story they're called suitors, but I don't think that's a very accurate description. See what you think. So Penelope's home, which is the royal palace, is full of men who have forcibly moved in and are trying to coerce Penelope into marrying one of them. And that's where the story starts. The royal palace, full of men, telling Penelope to give up on Odysseus because, you know, he's probably dead after the war and having been away for 20 years, and to marry one of them. And they're getting increasingly forceful and nasty about this. They won't leave. I wonder how Odysseus acquired his knowledge and skill about leading, fighting, and, well, you know, getting home. Well, he didn't just get them overnight. He spent years reading, practicing, failing, reflecting, and practicing some more. Oh, I see. So much like how Boot.dev teaches people how to code. Exactly. There's no shortcuts to learning something properly that's worthwhile. That's where Boot.dev comes into its own. Oh. So what makes them so special? Well, other than the fact that all their content is free to read and watch, but you can pay for the interactive features. I love that they teach you hard skills the hard way. There are no cheat codes. You get to learn by building real projects and putting into practice what you've learned. Okay. So I imagine there aren't that many lessons, you know, if the content's free. Ah, that's where you're wrong. They have over 3,000 lessons in their library, handcrafted by experts, no less. Well, now you're intriguing me. I wonder if they teach such things as Python and RabbitMQ. Actually, yes, but also other courses like Git and data structures and algorithms. Okay, you've got me. How do I sign up? You just go to Boot.dev and use my code Python to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan. Marvellous. I'm off to do that right now. Understandably, neither Penelope nor Telemachus, who's at this stage about 20, like the situation and want to do something about it, but they don't know what to do. Penelope comes up with ruses to try to put the men off, and Telemachus wants to forcefully remove them, but he can't because, well, there's 108 of them, and also he's just a bit rubbish, until he gets some help from the goddess Athena. She's the daughter of Zeus and appears throughout the story, but she first shows up as someone to guide and help Telemachus in the guise of a character called Mentor. And also important to know about Athena, like many of the other women characters in the story, she has a bit of a thing for Odysseus. That brings us to Calypso. Now, it's a bit difficult to talk about Calypso without giving some of the plot away, but I've already touched on it anyway. So she is a beautiful nymph who lives on the island of Ogygia. Odysseus gets washed up onto her island, where he stays as her lover for 7 years. That's 7 of the 10 years that it takes him to get home. He doesn't mention that to his wife. Another character that he doesn't mention to his wife is Circe, who is another beautiful goddess with her own island, where he stays living with her for 1 year. So just to get this straight, out of the 10 years it takes for him to get home, where he claims to be fighting sea monsters and being cursed by Poseidon, 8 of them are spent as the partner and plaything of 2 beautiful women, which isn't really the story that he tells his wife. Working late again tonight, are you, Odysseus? Anyway, back to the characters. Polyphemus is the Cyclops. That's the one-eyed, cheese-eating giant who also happens to be a cannibal and a bit unfriendly. And look, there are other characters, but those are the main ones. And one other piece of information that might be useful: when Odysseus was young, he injured his leg while hunting wild boar, and it left a nasty scar. Keep that in mind. Another little interesting fact about the story is that it's a non-linear timeline. So it starts near the end, and then there are flashbacks to the beginning, which is probably one of the reasons why Christopher Nolan chose to do it in the first place. I've just realised that I've spent the last few minutes trying to explain a Christopher Nolan film. Anyway, as I said earlier, the main theme of the film is about homecoming. And when you finally get home, is home the same as it was before you left? Or have you changed and has home changed so it can never quite be the same again? Now, if you want to read the book, there are several good translations. Emily Wilson's poetic interpretation from 2017 is one that you might like. There's also one by Andrew Verity that was published in 2018. And I'm told that Daniel Mandelson's translation is also very good. But if you'd rather not read it in verse, then Stephen Fry has written a prose version, which I'm currently reading at the moment, and it's also very good. Well, I hope this has been of some use. Enjoy the film. Let me know what you think. And while you're at it, if you can explain Inception or Tenet to me, that'd be great.
And remember, if you want to learn Python or other codey things, you can go to today's sponsor, Boot.dev, and use my code Python to get 25% off your first payment.